You know, is that camera pointing in the right direction? Wait a minute, it's pointing there. Yeah, it's still alright. Okay. Bismillah. ربنا لا تحزنا إنا نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Bismillah. I've written a few things about how God never is, nor does he forget, and I also mentioned in the previous video that the battery had died and it didn't record anything, and this time I'm recording my wife's phone, and well, the thing is, right, mashallah, God controls everything, and God's mercy encompasses all things, God's knowledge encompasses all things, and God is possessed of infinite grace and infinite mercy. Yeah, I got it. Okay, baby. And mashallah, God guides from the depths of darkness into light, and God redeems to himself whom he wills. Now, as babies are born into the world knowing nothing, and it's about doing nothing, it's about doing no harm, and karma will help or harm. Whereas as children we speak no wrong, and it's about the competition of right or wrong. And as youths we see no evil in this question of good and evil. As elders we hear no darkness, and it's a test of light and darkness. Now, what we have to think about, therefore, is what each category of stages in life represent. As animals, which are like babies, but do no harm, know nothing. As children, which are humans, who speak no wrong, and children. It's a mathematics of right and wrong, and as youth we observe good and evil, and it's miracles of good and evil, miracles of the present. And if you believe in God, it's the question whether you believe in God. And if you're a human, you'll see many things which are vanity and boast. Worldly life is mainly, worldly life is nothing but vanity and boast. You'll see particular snaps occurring in life where you'll see certain things which match you in so as an observation, try to make you reflect upon yourself, try to make you divide the oneness of God and trying to say there could be another God with God. But if you continuously in your life have affirmed La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, and have repented and accepted the news that the messengers have brought, and have sought refuge in God from Satan the rejected many a times, and if you have repented unto God, and God guides you, and the strength of your faith will only grow stronger. Whereas God also tests those who, whether the test is whether we are believers or whether we are disbelievers. Now the faithful know nothing, and they don't cheat or claim to know anything and not try to go first. They know it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and whereas the equal opportunist white supremacists are trying to say they are first all the time, and with every occasion. However, what was reality in front of them was not the reality they based there. Was not the. It's like the question. It's like what I said in that song. What is, what is the purpose of existence? To search for purpose within the moment rather than in the past. So if you're faithful to God and want to receive the recompense from God and believe in the kingdom of God and are patient and steadfast, then you will realise that to God belongs all things, and to God the return, and to God belongs all praise in the heavens and the earth and in the universe. There's none that equals him. There is none that equals him. MashaAllah. So we come full circle again, and inshallah in a few months' time it'll be Ramadan again. And it'll be the night of destiny, and inshallah hope my Lord gives me the tawfiq and the opportunity to remember him often in the night, which is better than 1,000 months. But I'm learning, and I'm learning to remember God more. I'm learning verses in the Quran, and I'm imploring God throughout my life, and taking instructions from previous scriptures, such as the Proverbs, where it says, "Lean not on your understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him," and do not attempt to be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. Do not try to be wise in your own eyes, or something. I don't know. I said it perfectly in the last video. I knew all of them, and it was strong on my tongue and easy to say. But on second attempt, I'm just revisiting thoughts rather than living thoughts, and being the part of the energy which is alive in the present moment. So the energy is alive in the present moment, it isn't in the past or in the future. And strength is in the future, not in the past. And stamina is in the past, not the present, I think. if you have faith, you faith in the light, that God is the light of the heavens and the earth, that God is there. And if you believe, you believe in the God, that God is here. And if you devote to the truth, that God is everywhere. And these are the things that affect us in the different stages of our lives. Listening angels, observing devils, learning humans, and doing animals. So animals just do, humans learn, devils observe, and angels listen. And this might not reach so many people. Well, I might be talking now, but I know the angels who witness our life, who record all our deeds, are listening, and they're recording everything. And even if no one watches this video, or no one listens to what I said, but I know it reaches a lot of people, mashallah, because it's the history written by the victor. This video is not as perfect as the previous video because it's less energetic. It's more of a struggle than it was on the first attempt. That's why, when you say something that means something, you usually hear as mind control protocols, let's just say that again. So you have to repeat everything you said, even though it was perfectly clear the first time. But they don't. But their scheming is formidable. Their scheming seems formidable to them. The vampires, the kafirs, and the evil polytheist. They think their scheming is formidable. To know yourself is to know your enemy. They think by eating forbidden fruits they'll become angels. Now what are forbidden fruits? Forbidden fruits are the tangents and the ideas and the concepts which believers in God and submitters to God leave behind and do not sell their souls to or anything, and they readily take it and sell their souls for a miserable price. And they think they're angels. Don't speak first. Now what are angels? Angels are old, very wrinkled people. They're not youths. They're very old. And they listen, and it's about justice rather than it's about equality, which is what devils think about equality, and humans think about freedom. And humans think about freedom, and equality is death. There's nothing after death other than resurrection, where we are held accountable for our deeds. Other than if they think they can be blood-sucking vampires who are like the living dead. And they live in an illusion that they all share, whereas those who have repented unto God and strived in God's cause and had a will of innocence and were not a temporal force of corruption and they don't sell their souls to the golden bait of satanic illusions. They don't have the faith, nor do they grieve. And they can only artificially try to recreate these ideas for people from television, whatever, media, from Hollywood lies and hypocritical lies. But in truth, they don't redeem their souls, they neglect their souls, they don't do any of the hard work, because they can't stand the light of God. They want to extinguish the light of God, but God insists on perfecting His light, in spite of the disbelievers. They don't serve God, they serve money. That's why, they think about employment instead of trying to reach heaven, trying to reach paradise. They sell, they borrow and steal and beg. And they say, in a song, it says happiness can either beg, steal or borrow. The communists beg, and the Nazis and the fascists steal, and the capitalists borrow. And what is it about then? It's about the first one, I don't know, it's about revolution or retribution. I don't know what it's about, to tell you the truth. I don't know what I couldn't really tell you right now. I know I've written some things about it. It's about serve money, not serves the ego, serves the people, serves the devil, and all these things, I can't tell you any more than that because my memory is very weak. To regurgitate, to reiterate the things I've said. I'm not a robot. I don't reiterate the same things over again and again, and nor do I revisit thoughts. I let them go. Once they're there and I've understood what they mean or what their understanding is, I live it, and that's all I do. I don't try to tyrannize it. I love it instead of trying to tyrannize it. To them it's an experiment of misery, to us is a quest of happiness. For them it's wicked regrets, or regrets, for us it's thanks. For them it's pain, for us it's pleasure. For them it's hell, for us it's heaven, paradise, Garden of Eden. For them it's a question of good and evil. Fear. So children. There's the baby who is like the child, like the animals which are doing. There's the humans which like children are speaking. And there's the youth who are like devils who are observing. And there's the elders who are like angels who are listening. So those were the main points I wanted to talk about. Should leave it there. It's a bit slow today. A bit slow. It was the second attempt, you see, so and I'm recording on my wife's phone, not my own, so it gives me unlimited minutes to record, whereas my own phone doesn't have that much time. Cover-up always becoming haphazard to sheeting, what else we can be after all. we'll see where it leads to, you know, where the next logical progression will be. When the natural defeat the impeccable. Inshallah, when the Messiah leads to the promised land and the end of the one world empire, when happiness is submission to God, and then you can try it. Happiness can either beg, steal, or borrow, be bought. And there's someone used to say to me, happiness cannot be bought. And I don't know what it means. Some linguistics. I claim to know what it means. But I understand language. And it's strange how I'm known not as an identity, but up till now, all the polytheists, all those who are polytheists, who have come to the earth and are scientists, are aware of the victory of God and the messengers of God. And the messenger of God, 2 horns, look a name. Inshallah, my Lord will grant me 2 horns. Inshallah. And whereas they just copy and imitate everything about the kingdom of God. They use they promote the idea to know yourself, just to know your enemy. Whereas in the kingdom of God, you know, the schemes of the disbelievers backfire against them. So you gotta think, you know. Sure. Those who uphold God's absolute authority are the submitters of God. And those who are too arrogant to worship God and claim there can be another God with God. It's funny how people use linguistics and show their strength and how eloquence and trying to deal with humans who are bound by time and space, to try to win their souls. But when you ask them to confess, when they reach a point of confession, all they could do is cry. They just cry. They can't even say anything. Why is that the case? But you know, you realise there and then that the schemes of the disbelievers backfire against them. You know, before they were showing all their eloquence and all their brilliant wording and emphasis of intelligent words and all these things, but then as soon as the redemption comes along and the wisdom, instead of the crookedness and the evil linguistics, claiming there can be another God with God, when the affirmation La ilaha illallah occurs, to wait and to breathe rather than to think it's the strength of mind. We're humans, not angels. We don't want to be angels. But God will reward us such in the Garden of Eden, where we get whatever we desire, inshallah. Now that's another question for you, because if you can get whatever you desire in the Garden of Eden, then those who wish corruption would of God's eternal paradise, we might try to create another God with God. That's why we're on earth. And you see, the Hindus and the Indians think their polytheism was spread so far that it would be very hard to avoid. Yet Qaeda-Azam and the Muslim League partitioned India from Pakistan and fought for Azad Kashmir. And then the Afghans who were equipped by the Americans fought off the communists. And now we come to the third, which is about the sovereignty of God. Those who borrow from the kingdom of God and try to create a paradise on earth or heaven on earth through use of banking cartels and illicit earnings and false measuring and cheating while measuring and all these things. So, and it's about sovereignty all of a sudden, and they say there's a war against drugs. At first there was a war against drugs, and then you saw the government and the CIA actually complicit in the spread of epidemics and diseases around the world, where they saw some drugs were good and some drugs were not. When the natural drugs were demonized and the evil pharmaceutically, bad karma, evil drugs of pharmacy were promoted just so that they could profiteer from evil. Then the war on terror occurred, and all of a sudden there was terrorism as being seen as being an evil, and then you see, how did they manufacture bombs? Who knows anything about bombs? The army knows about bombs, or just civilians know about bombs? When you look at those guys who tried to bomb London after the July 7th or whatever it was, and they couldn't even ignite their bombs. So who knows about bombs? The army know about bombs, or do civilians know about bombs? So who's complicit in this again? Who's trying to spread fear among people to believe there's a real evil on earth? It's actually the souls vampires who do that, so that you don't give in charity, so you become mean-hearted towards people instead of kind-hearted. But anyway, you reap what you sow. So if you're in the kingdom of God, you believe in God alone. If you don't, then you're in the New World Order. If you disbelieve in God and associate partners to God, then you're in the New World Order. You either promote Messiah, son of David, or you either promote I'm Ambassador.